Hello, we are live and it's showing live streaming. I'm just setting it up and checking it. Yeah. So I think we are, yeah, I think we are live and everything seems okay. And can you hear me, Elizabeth?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Lovely. Lovely. I just figured it out. My audience knows how much I struggle with technology. And as usual, my beginning of my interviews, all my interviews, there has to be one whole series of interviews in the beginning when I'm trying to say, I'm struggling with technology, this is happening, that's happening. That'll be an interesting film with 100 people that he hasn't learned in so many interviews how to do this. Anyway, good morning from India. And I know I've sent messages to a lot of you, and a lot of you would be seeing a replay or you'll be joining us live right now. I cannot see it, but I know, oh, I can see some people coming in. So I am here to introduce you my first mom after 100 moms that I had introduced. In fact,
Mm.
108, and she's the 109th mom I'm introducing. And it was a long due interview. And since I've had the launch, people are asking me, what are you doing? What is next? Are you coming up with something? And here the message comes. Elizabeth's interview is right there as a message that this is how I'm restarting. So end of the year, the last interview, but the beginning of the interviews, all starting all over again, finding new mothers, talking to them, talking and understanding what they do and how they're making impact and how is it that we can have this conversation and take this conversation to make more impact through this conversation and understand their work. So Elizabeth, welcome to Mom Vibes. And I must say that this has been said many, many times before to all the moms, but I always say mothers who live their story always tell their story the best. So I am
Mm.
no one to introduce you with a big biodata sheet to say, oh, she's done this, she's done that, because all that will come through your experience and we will take the conversation ahead as a conversation with what you've done, what's your journey like, so let's start what your journey has been like, and then we'll take you on as a mom and what are you doing and how are you impacting the world. So welcome,
Great.
Mom Vibes.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much, Chica.
Yeah, go ahead and tell people
So,
about what you do. And
sure. So, I am a mom of two boys. Actually, my boys are having birthdays this month. So, my oldest turned 13 last week, and my youngest turns 11 tomorrow, or today if you're in India.
yeah,
It's still Thursday for me.
yeah.
Um, and right now I work as a women's empowerment coach, a life coach, and I serve women who have been divorced, who are moms, who struggle with their identity, who struggle to understand their purpose in life, who love being a mom and also struggle with like, how do I figure out how to be a mom and love my kids and also love myself? And what does that look like? And how do I do that well?
Right.
Mom guilt is a big deal. So we talk through that as well and how to do that well. And I'm divorced. And so the women that I work with are me. We have a lot of overlap in the stories. And so being able to walk with them about how to do this thing well, how to make better decisions around who we are and how we serve and the passions and women who empower women make such a big difference, which is why like I love this movement that you've created of moms like coming together and sharing what they do in their life and their passions and their excitement and their children. And women have a tendency to lift each other up in these spaces. And I'm excited to like be part of that with you.
Right, right. So what's been the journey like? What were you doing before this, before you became an empowerment coach? And tell people about how you worked in different spaces and how did you come about wanting to do this and why, we'll talk about the why, but of course you had the thing of going through a divorce and you've had two boys. But before that, what were you doing? And also then why this decision of becoming an empowerment coach for
Sure. So I studied speech pathology. I'm actually a certified and licensed speech pathologist in the state of Connecticut in the US. I've been doing that for almost 20 years. Love it. Got married in my early 20s and was kind of just chugging along, doing life, like get married, have a career, have, 2.5 children. and the joke is 2.5, like a pet. We actually never had a pet, but um just kind of moving along through life. And as a speech pathologist, I also love that work because I make a big impact on children's lives. So children have a special place in my heart as well. Like working on building communication and children being able to feel, I've been doing this work for so long. I just was doing it with a different population, empowering children to have a voice and to share where they are and what they need. And then I ended up asking for a divorce, and in that darkness, in that pain, in that space, reevaluating like who I am, what do I bring to the table, what are things that I love. A lot of that was, how can I model a strong woman, a healthy mom, an empowered mom to my sons who are going to ultimately be somebody's husband.
Right.
uh, and having walked away from a marriage with someone that had difficulty in that role of husband, I felt a charge like, you have to raise these sons of yours to be the husband that one day a woman will love to have. Someone who is empathetic and acknowledges feelings and is a good listener, and all the things that a lot of the women that I work with struggle so much with in their marriages and their partnerships.
Right.
So recognizing that I love empowering people, recognizing that I already have a degree and like am specialized in communication building, it just made so much sense to transition into working as a coach. And when I dove into that training, I realized I had been coaching all of my adult life. I
Yeah.
just had never called it that.
Yeah. And we have Francis. Sorry, I'm looking up because I didn't want the echo to come. So I've dived in. Francis is here. Hi, Francis. Thank you for joining live. Can you also put this in the mums group that we are live? That would be amazing help to me. Because this is a very beautiful conversation. I can already see, going ahead. But that's the help I'm asking Francis to put it in our mums group. She's one of the mums in the book. And a teacher and a coach, and the beautiful, like, so many times we don't think we are doing something, we are either getting trained to be somebody in the future, and we never realize that, and then we end up doing that. And like for me, this whole mom project, if I look back 40 years of my life, I was exactly getting trained to do this. I would have never thought, yeah, she's a special education preschool teacher. She's correcting.
We
Um,
work together, Francis. We're friends.
yeah, yeah, Francis. Oh, if more like I'm telling you, Francis needs to really come and meet you, and many moms here, which are going to come up because she's going to totally love the next few moms who are coming. Francis, I hope you can share this at the event and more moms can come in to join us live. And so I feel that, like I've been asked right now, why not fathers? Why are you not talking about fathers? Why are you talking about mothers? Fathers also make a contribution. Fathers also go through so much. As of course, even grandfathers go through, even children go through, but you can only pick up what you can pick up at that moment, of what you feel is the most important thing for you to take forward. And I'm glad that divorce, which is not spoken about, like people shy away from talking boldly about it. And also because of that, not asking for help,
Right.
and thinking that we need to pull it out all by ourselves. There has to be community lacking. So when you create something like that very boldly, because I love the way you show up very boldly about it, and giving your hands to children, to mothers, to say, come on and let's do this together. It's not a big deal. Yes, it's happened, and it's not so great as a feeling, and it's so
Right.
what is the path that you're taking ahead, and whatever you wanted to say right now, you can say that as well.
So I have created community for these women. I have a private Facebook group, and my ultimate goal always, I love how you said, like, I've been training for this, you know, for X amount of years, and now I'm doing this thing I hadn't imagined. And so all of my life has been around empowering people to show up as their best self.
Yeah.
And a huge chunk of that has been children, my personal children, but also all the children that I've worked with as a speech pathologist. Um, Empowering humans, in this case women and children, to be their best selves, to use the special gifts that they are equipped with, to help them uncover the hidden self that gets lost in society's expectations and family traditions and cultures. And that's what happened to me. You know, I got lost in all the shoulds and have tos of my culture and my society, that I stayed stuck in a space that I did not thrive in at all.
Yeah.
And now in my clientele, I see that. I see that, but I have to, but I should, but what about my kids? But what about, and so the work that I do is designed to help women see that they can have both, and we can both be empowered and also love our community and our family and our culture. We can absolutely thrive in our passions and our gifting and also be incredible moms and friends and daughters. We don't have to pick just one thing. We can be and do all of the things. It's always a choice we get to make. Most of the women that I've worked with didn't know that it was a choice.
Right. And, when you say that, that's why when I took out the book called 100 Self-Portrait, 100 Dreams, that's the whole thing, that you can dream, because we don't even dare to dream. Forget about daring to complete it, or to walk into that path. And, and people who will see the replays and conversations must know that, when I started this whole movement, what you were just saying is what it was. It can be done. I had a 4-month-old in my hand. There was pandemic. I was moving cities. And I had come up with a very bold thing of finding 100 women and doing it in 100 days. Boulder was not only finding 100 women, it was 100 days, 100 women, 100 inspiring stories, blah, 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 blah. And when I started to walk, it's not so tough. When you decide and you start to walk, it's not so tough. So people like you, when you empower and you give support and you take that path to want to do it, somebody just needs to tell you somewhere that it's all right. And it's been proven by the event that I launched in person, that when the permission is granted, sometimes we just need the permission.
Yeah.
We don't even, like, we are strangers, mothers meeting. When the permission was granted, this event, breakthroughs happened, transformation happened. There was permission to giggle, there was permission to cry, there was permission to change your stories, there was permission to go bold. So I just think what you're doing is you're providing that first step of permission, that I'm standing here right in front, giving you permission that we can do it, and then we'll do it together. So that's really beautiful, Elizabeth. Um,
Yes.
yeah, go ahead.
I was just thinking, you know, I've sat with a few clients and I could tell that they just need someone to say, it's okay, you have permission. And I've said those exact words to clients. You have permission to do this. And that sort of unlocks something in them. I can't grant anybody permission, but
Yeah.
in their minds, we get so trapped. And as soon as I've said that to women, they themselves have given the permission that they need. I'm giving myself permission now. And it was a domino effect. Like I said, okay, you have permission. And then this happened and the next thing, and they kept giving themselves permission and doors were open and opportunities happen. And it's like you said, you know, you take that first step and suddenly you see what your next step is and how you're going to make things happen and what needs to be done to put together this passion, this excitement. And I've seen that happen so many times now. I mean, they're empowered, but I'm empowered too, watching these stories unfold in these women who have beautiful things to offer the world.
Yeah, yeah. And that's where you start to feel so excited when you see the permission granted, the transformations, and you're just like, what is this happening? What is this thing of people just opening up just like that and just going ahead and doing it? And I love your face lighting up when you see that. And I know that you love books. And I know that I love books. And usually your books and my books have always matched.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
I've like, oh, she's really reading that book. That's my book. So let's give some books to our audience, one or two, three books that you like. And there are, you know, I'm just loading the Facebook again. If more people,
Yes, I know. My 2022 book list is exponentially long, not able to read all the books. But some of the books that I've read on this journey that have really helped me to shed some old limiting beliefs and help me to see myself in a new way. One of them is called Broken Open by Elizabeth Lesser.
yes,
She is a co-founder of a retreat center in New York State, and she was also a divorced woman. So this story is about her journey and how she was broken open and how healing came from that break and what beautiful discoveries she made in those spaces. That was
I
an
think that's what
incredibly empowering book.
Broken
Yeah.
Open is it's a beautiful title. Thanks for sharing that. And I don't have I've not read that one. Generally, I know, yeah,
I
I'll
know
give it.
we've read a lot. I
So
know we have some overlap.
yeah,
Gosh, the list is so long. Untamed by Glennon Doyle was also a really great book because she also talks about, and I didn't pick these up. The Broken Open one I did because I knew about the divorce. The Untamed one I didn't realize, but there was a divorce story in there as well. And so much of what she shared, I was like, oh my God, were you watching my life happen? Like, did we live double lives? So
yeah,
much of her story is my story.
right.
And so Untamed was a great space to like have the freedom to just be who you are.
Yeah. And you know
That
what
was
happens? Yeah, we think that it's only happening to us. We think that
oh my gosh.
we are the only ones who've gone through this. But actually, when you start opening up, reaching out, give your hands, ask, and wanting to receive as well. That's another very important element that you want to receive. That there's so much resistance, as we have spoken about the book, the art, the
The war of art.
or the work, well, the it's work of art.
The
The war of art.
war,
I
art
know.
and
And
resistance.
yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
even, I just woke up and I came to this thing, the war of art. And Pressfield talks about so much about resistance and the fact that the first thing is we start to dream, and the second thing is do not do that. And then that's how women don't reach out. And of course, culture plays a very important role. And just we just keep getting into this matrix of we should not, we should not, we should not, we can't, what will happen? And you bringing that part for such a beautiful niche who's really struggling, that I'm very proud of you that you're doing that. And I'm sure many people are going to be helped through that. And whatever we as mom is the name of my event, plus it's
Mhm,
become a company now called MUM, Mothers United Movement is what it is.
mhm.
So mom, if we can spread the word around, and I just think in the coming year, anything can happen. Like I just almost about to speak up some very crazy numbers again, and I'm stopping myself to say that. But we will take your help in because the I have a foundation now. It's called the Mothers Empowerment Foundation, Mom Empowerment Foundation. Mom is a company, but it's a Mom Empowerment Foundation.
Yeah.
And through that, we are going to do some work in the coming. It took me a lot of time to get licensed, etc. But we are going to do some work through that. And I would love this part to be also there in Mom Empowerment Foundation to be addressed, because once we help a divorced, either a man or a woman, we
Mm.
also help their children. And we also
Oh,
help. And I just think your real passion is children. That's why you're trying to fix this so that the children can. And for me also, actually, more than mothers, it's the children that brought me to do take care of mothers, because I realized that, you know, if the children have to be taken care of, she has to be taken care of. And that's a beautiful,
yes.
beautiful thing.
It's
Um,
a cycle for sure. It
yeah,
is a cycle for sure. Children, dysfunctional families that lead to dysfunctional adults. And we're like, well, why are these, why are they struggling so much?
yeah,
Well, when you look at where things came from, which, if I could just share really quick tangential, like maybe not so tangential, one of the things that comes up a lot in this work is you know, and I'm not pro divorce, so I just need to say I am divorced. I'm not a proponent of like just divorce them, no,
Yeah.
but I am a proponent of self-love, and I am a proponent of honoring your truth, and I am a proponent of standing up for yourself and listening to your, you know, full body yes, full body no.
Yeah.
And some women get the full body yes on like this relationship is no longer working, but believe that if they break the marriage that the children are going to suffer, and so they continue to remain in a broken marriage.
Yeah.
And that is not, and I want to share a thought about that, but also like, yes, the children absolutely have a hard time with it. There are a lot of pieces that need to be put together to help your babies be okay,
Yeah.
but when you remain in a broken marriage and your children are watching this kind of relationship, your family is already broken. It's not I'm going to break up my family, my poor children. It is your family is actually broken right now, and you're, you know, there's a gush of like you're hemorrhaging, but you're putting a band-aid on it, like hoping, you know, how many band-aids do I need to cover the hemorrhage?
Right, right, absolutely.
And so in my case, and in the case of several of my clients, the hurdle after the divorce, so you get through, it's hard, please get hope for your babies, you know, make sure you're loving on them really hard, but after, in my case in particular, my children see a very strong, happy, engaged, present mom. They
Right.
see a mom that is doing a lot of things for them and for herself. And there's no question that the model that I'm presenting to them is of a woman who can be both tender and strong, that
Right.
can be both nourishing and loving, and also a working career mom who can get things done.
Right.
Both of those can be true. And it's important for me that my sons see that, so that they know what to look for when it's their turn to choose a partner.
Yeah. And, you know, that's why I was coming for that more than anything else, when you are, your children see that, because something happens and then your children see, oh my God, it's a big thing. And then they see either the crumbling or the shining, both affect them in such a way. And your voice not necessarily also, like, I just feel that, yes, they need to look for a partner, but for themselves, they need to know, because uh, divorce is like one thing, but at the same time, any kind of hindrance that comes in your life, that's how you deal with it. And when they look up to their mother, when they say, my mom went through divorce and she was a star, and I've grown up seeing a star, I'm going through this, I'm definitely can get through that, you know. And then they derive that strength from you, because it doesn't matter what kind of a trauma or what kind of a problem, they just derive it, especially from mothers, I feel, when I'm a mother, maybe. But yeah, they do derive it from their parents and how their parents showed up. I derive it from my father, but they derive it from their parent and how they showed up. And it's unbelievable that when you start doing, like, I'm doing some conscious parenting stuff, and um, I knew about it, but when I'm now every day seeing my dialogue, my stuff, the way I'm showing up for the problem is all the way my father showed up for the problems. And because he was graceful about his problems, I am very graceful about problems, you know. And because I come from, like, my mom was taken away, so I come from a single parent as well. And when I look at him, I'm like, he went through it with so much grace. I can go through it with so much grace as well for my children, even if I'm not being a single parent or there's some other problem that's coming up. So that's the beautiful piece that I was about to anyway say, and you said it so beautifully. And we have Lucy as well in our comments. I don't see all the comments, but culture does affect us so much our whole life. You're amazing, and you didn't let your culture stop you from becoming who you are today. That she's talking about me, because
Mm.
she just came for the event. Lucy is a star, and I think she will also relate to many things you're doing. She's a teacher, like you are, and very, very young 77-year-old mom in our book, who
Love it.
has shown ways how to actually, I'm telling her, I need to do something with her, because she knows how to live. She knows how to live. And she
Mm.
is also gone through a divorce, so, but like, she knows how to live, and she knows how to be so graceful and bring so much light. So you should meet Lucy and get in touch with her and get to know this amazing people who are just coming in and joining you in life.
That
So
would be
where can
so
they
great.
find you? And I will be I will be dropping it in the comment for you, the community that you are part of. We will do something in January because this was something that I wanted to do before I ended because I'm all about promises. And and that reminds me something which I'll end with. But we will do something with divorced women as well as series with mom, and we will put your community there. I know you do active coaching, and I think many people in my circle would need it. So
Mm.
what is your group called, and how can they find you?
Yeah. So on Facebook, my main profile is Elizabeth Soto Baez. And then my private Facebook group that I've developed for divorced women kind of looking for tools to heal and find themselves again is called Launch Your Life. Divorced women creating confidence, self-love, and I forget I forget I always call it Launch Your Life. But I for sure will leave you the link here. And it's I am doing active coaching right now. I'm booked out in January, but I have spots open in April that I'm filling up, and I have a group program called Love Me Again. It's a 6-week group program for divorced women specifically who are just like, man, I need to love me again. I don't know how to do that. I feel very alone because divorce can be a very isolating experience. And in this group, we have community and we support each other and love each other and exchange tools on how to love ourselves again. So, and that is also in April 2023. So,
Thank you
getting
for
late.
I so appreciate the work that both of you are doing for mothers. Yes, Lucy, um, and Lucy's there, and Frances is there. Lucy rocks. She's saying all of us love Lucy. Not that we don't love Frances, we love Frances as well. And we thank you for loving us back, Frances, Lucy, and I think there would be more people which I can't see in the comments right now. But before that, our dearest mom, who's about to turn 100 in a month's time, and we managed to get a book to her, is in the hospital. So all the moms were going to be, she, she's, I just don't know what to say. And in a month's time, she turns 100, and our vision was to have her in the book because she's so much about joy, and she's so positive, and she's so amazing. And her daughter, who's Therese, who's also in the book, is with us. So Ethel is in the hospital, and we just got the book in her hand, managed to do that in spite of all the courier service problem. Donna took it all the way. Thank you, Donna.
Wow.
And last week we had a video from her holding the book called 100 Self Portrait, 100 Dreams. So wishing her all the recovery and prayers or whatever she needs right now to ease out. And we're hoping to celebrate her 100th birthday as well very soon with her virtually. So Therese, we are with you, and we love you, Ethel, and she's one of our favorites for sure.
Mm.
I just wanted to end with that. And Elizabeth, thank you so much. I love that you've had a whole day of work, but your work doesn't seem to be so, bogging down that you don't look so tired, because when you work with children and you do transformations and you're working,
Yes.
you're looking very excited because you love
Oh,
what you do. And
I do.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you for that. Yes, it's a late evening over here on the East Coast in the US, but loved being here, loved chatting with you. Thank you for sharing my story in your community. I would love to connect with any of the women in your community that are interested in what I'm doing or just want to exchange stories about life or speech therapy or children.
Yeah.
I'm
We'll
all
do
about it. So
Yeah, we'll
thank
do
you
that.
so much.
We will do something as a series coming up, maybe for a month or something with you. Is what speech therapy or divorce, both. We'll see what we're going to do. Something is coming to my mind. Whenever I sit on an interview live, something comes to my mind. So something is coming
Fun.
to my mind. It's going to be announced soon. And Francis, thank you. Francis is also East Coast, so then you can definitely Virginia. So you can,
Oh, nice.
yeah, you
It's
can.
10 p.m. Thursday night for us,
Yeah,
Francis.
Frances is a big supporter of our movement, so she even joins us at 2 o'clock in the night if it's at 2 o'clock in the night. So she's amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
So let's go off, and I love you guys, love you, Lucy, Francis, and anybody else who's joined in. And we will definitely put this as a share in the moms group so that more comments can come in, and they will All right. Thanks, Lucy, for thinking for Therese. And yeah, and it's just my heart after just hearing it. I'm so connected, Lucy, with this that the day she went to the hospital, I don't know why I suddenly shared her interview. It came up on my Facebook and I just shared it. I usually don't reshare my interviews, but I shared it. And then Therese tell me, I think you felt her. She's in the hospital. And that's how I'm connected to this mom. So it's a beautiful
Yeah.
community that's coming up, and we really feel that. I would love to interview you, Elizabeth. So here is the second interview coming. Lucy is
Sounds amazing.
Lucy also has a series of a lot of interviews, and she's just amazing. You will love her. A lot to learn from her as well. And Lucy has a beautiful community where she's thriving. So I've done a lot about Lucy Francis. I just think that I'm just falling in love with them all over again in the comments.
That's
So I
so
need to
cool.
stop this. So Lucy has offered you to do an interview. So reach out in the comments. Reach out to Lucy
Perfect.
and you'll meet Lucy, you will meet an incredibly bright person, and and vice versa. All right. And I think Francis can also take her on for an interview. Francis, I think you can, because Francis is all about coaching and children and everything as well, and she has a beautiful story as well. So get in touch with these women and you will start expanding from there. All right, I have to stop because these women, I just love them. They come in the comments. I'll not stop. Yeah, take care. You have to stop. I'm just stopping the live, Elizabeth, and
Sure.
uh, take care.